Well, good morning, friends. Hi, it's Kerrie with Conversations at Kerrie's Korner. I hope this video today, this podcast today, finds you doing great. It is Tuesday, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving already. Can you believe we are here? We are at the holidays. I'm not ready. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely not there. Today I wanted to talk to you about a subject that is so crucial in our society today, and it's a really disturbing trend. I am a mother of 3. I have 4 grandchildren, and I see it in my own family, this issue, and it worries me immensely. I'm the back end of the baby boom generation. You know, I am the generation of just a lot of things. We lived a different world. And I want to talk to you about this today at Conversations at Kerrie's Korner. And it's about our children and their inside lives that they lead. But before we get into that this morning, thank you for joining me. Again, this is Kerrie, and this is Conversations at Kerrie's Korner. This podcast is all about talking about issues that affect all of us in some way or another, whether it's political, economical, family, love, challenges, crises. Anything and everything is available for conversation at this podcast. I started this a few months ago because I as somebody that came to this beautiful country 50 years ago or more, from Australia, I have seen a shift in our society and in our social interactions with each other, and it's disturbing. You know, we used to be able to talk about things rationally, calmly, intellectually. Even if we disagreed, we could talk about them. We don't seem to be able to do that anymore, and that's why we are facing this great divide in our country. And I wanted to do something myself to inspire others to help fix that problem. Because when we talk to each other civilly, with respect, we get so much more done. And you come away from that feeling so much better about it. I can remember as a little girl when we came here traveling with my dad, our family would all travel together, and we would, travel by bus, and we would go from small town to small town, and we would run across these beautiful diners that were, I can just remember going in and thinking, oh, they're so beautiful, they sparkled, they were red and black, and some people were on roller skates, and I was just in awe of these beautiful places that you used to be able to go in and eat, and we'd love to sit at the bar, my brothers and I. It was so much fun. And I can remember watching my parents interact with people they didn't know, sitting at a bar having a conversation. My parents are very social people. And I can remember hearing them say, wow, we've made a new friend, or they would have a different perspective on something. And that's what we've lost. We've lost the ability to respect each other's opinion and talk about it without being hateful and, in some cases, violent. And so this is my small part in trying to start that conversation again. Because when you talk to each other, that's where real change happens, and we need change. So let's think about meeting at a local diner, having a cup of coffee, a pancake, or a slice of pie, sitting next to somebody that you don't know, and maybe coming away with a new friend or a new position on something that you now think of differently. That's what I hope this podcast can do. So as part of this baby boom generation, the last part of it, I can remember growing up and always being outside. I can vividly hear my parents say, get outside and go play. Go find your friends, go for a bike ride, go to the pool, go outside and swing on the swing set, or, go make mud pies. Get out of this house and go play. I can remember that. We weren't allowed to hang in the house. We literally were told, and I can remember hearing my parents say, go play, let us know where you are, wherever you decide you're going to end up. If it's at your friend's house, call and let us know, and let us know when you're on your way home, and make sure you're back in this door by the time the street lights come on. And that's the way it was. I can remember coming home from school, and literally my mom, because my dad traveled so much, but my mom would say, okay, grab a snack and then get out of this house and go play. And we were allowed to go and do whatever we wanted to do with our friends for an hour and a half. Then we'd have to come home and sit down, do our homework, get ready for dinner, help mom get ready for dinner, have dinner, and then finish what we didn't get started with our homework. But she never made us go directly to homework. And I did the same with my kids. You come home and you relax. You go outside, you get some fresh air, you go for a walk, you ride your bike, you go for a swim, whatever. And our kids have lost that. And there's a lot of reasons for it. Fear. So many children have been murdered by pigs, monsters. That's increased. Peer pressure. But I think the biggest contributor to our kids not being outside is what I'm talking to you on right now. A phone. Or a laptop, a tablet. It's a scary number. Kids today spend 90% of their time indoors. Whether that's getting to school and staying in school, coming home and sitting in front of a television, or getting on an electronic. And it's affecting our kids' ability to socialize with each other. It's affecting their communication skills. It's affecting their behavior. It's affecting so much of their lives. And they're missing one of the things that we absolutely have to have, and that's the sun. Getting outside and getting natural vitamin D from the sun is crucial to our health. They're missing the interaction of playing with other children. And I get it. I do get it. You know, when my grandkids are here, we are outside with them. But we make them go outside. We make them go for a walk or go for a bike ride or get on their scooter or work in the backyard with us, help us rake, help us clean our pool, help us take care of our koi pond. We make our grandkids get outside because so much of their life, first of all, is busy. Most parents are both working. So their kids are rushed to get up, rushed to get to school or daycare. They're in school all day. Parents pick them up. They get home. And if they are not in a sport or some sort of extracurricular activity, they're again at home inside. I could not tell you, with maybe the exception of one of my grandchildren, that's old enough, of course, whether or not they actually go out and play with their friends. They've got to have that to be well-balanced, socialized children. They've got to learn communication skills. They've got to learn how to interact with each other so they're prepared for school and high school and college and then life. They are learning to interact with video games and movies, and that's not real life. So kids that we're seeing, these first generation of children that have grown up like this, have some significant problems. And we got to fix it. We've got to fix it. We got to figure out a way to get our children back outside, playing outside, digging in the dirt, making mud pies, playing cowboys and Indians, or playing soldiers, or whatever, riding their bike, building dirt trails, having tree houses. The generations today, the majority of them, not all of them, but the majority of them don't do this. And they are missing out. And they are then developing serious behavioral and social issues. So what is the solution? It's a very complicated process, because I can just tell you with my own children, my grown children, they both are working. Both parents are working because they have to work. It takes both parents today to be in a middle America family and make ends meet. It takes two incomes. I didn't work with my children. When my children were growing up, I didn't go back to work until my youngest child was in school. First grade is when I went back to work. Because my husband and I thought it was more important to give them hands-on with us, me, and give them those opportunities to go play down the street with their friends, go in the backyard with their fort or their trampoline or whatever it was, and not give our children over to somebody else. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying that our kids are doing anything wrong. It is just how our society has transformed. But their children now are struggling with that. My children were the same way. My kids were, get out of this house. You are driving me crazy. Go play hockey, go play football, go for a swim. Do you want to go to the mall? I mean, they just were made to not live their lives completely indoors. And that's what's happening to our children. And it's causing serious behavioral, educational, and social issues. And as a society, we got to figure out how to fix this. How do we help our adults that have young children? How do we help them get back to go outside, let me know when you get where you're going, and make sure you're home by the time the lights come on, the street lights. My children will tell you that that was their life. And they will also tell you that they can't do that with their children. So we got to figure this out as a society, or we're going to have introverted children that have no social skills, that don't know how to communicate with other human beings. Their total interaction is on electronics. That is not going to give us well-adjusted children. It's just not. And then those children are not going to be well-adjusted adults. So as a society, we really need to do a better job. I don't know what the solutions are. Maybe you know what the solutions are. I know that it is something that we've got to work on. And I do know that it's something that Robert Kennedy is very, very interested in and has intentions of trying to figure out some solutions for these parents who have children that are growing up. My granddaughter, she plays outside at her home, but she doesn't do what we used to do, where we jump on our bike and go down, or mom would take us down to our friend's house, and then we would be at our friend's house and we'd either be swimming or we would be in their backyard. My kids always had a swing set or a jungle gym or a tree house, because it's important for them to be able to be outside. So I'd love some feedback. If you guys have any suggestions, I'm not trained in this field. I just know what I see. I know what I read. And I can see the differences in my grandchildren versus my children. And it is a concern. It is a big concern. And we've got to figure this out so we can help them improve their social skills, their communication skills. Because as we all know, as we are adults, if you don't have those skills, you can get run over, or you can head down a path that is not a successful one. My youngest son is a probation officer, and he works with 10 to 17-year-old children, and he sees some of the effects now of parents that are disengaged with their children, putting their kids in front of a television and expecting the television to babysit them or give them a computer game. And so now they're in trouble. because they don't have any socialization skills. They can't go to school and socialize without being violent or disrespectful. So it's a chronic problem. And we've got to, as a community and in our communities and as a nation and as a society, we got to figure this out. We've got to help these future generations grow up to be safe, well-adjusted kids that grow up to be safe and intelligent, educated, stable adults. Because some of them are going to be our leaders. And we've got to have stable, well-adjusted, well-educated leaders in order for our amazing nation to continue to flourish. Maybe it's just starting the conversation within your own families. Maybe that's the first step. If you're grandparents, having a conversation with your kids, express your concerns that your grandkids are not spending enough time outside. And then take steps. Do what we do. We make them go outside. We make them get on their bike or go for a walk or help in the yard, rake, help around the pool, pick the vegetables out of the vegetable garden, or just play. Get a blanket, grab some toys and some snacks, and go sit on a blanket and just enjoy being outside. Some of my fondest memories of my kids were the Sunday afternoon picnics that we always went on. It was a family tradition every Sunday afternoon. When we'd have dinner, we'd fry up some chicken and we'd go to the park for 3 hours and we would just be together. We would take the dogs, we'd play frisbee, we'd play football, we'd go on the slides, the kids' things, and we just enjoyed the afternoon as a family outside. Started the week right. Gave us the time that we needed as a family unit, and it gave our kids time to decompress. Our kids are not decompressing. We as adults are not decompressing. I learned about 4 months ago a really important tip. Turn your phone off an hour before you go to bed. Just turn it off. Don't look at it. Let your mind decompress. And I've also learned in the last month, because I personally have suffered some pretty significant tragedies in the last 3 years. Meditate. Take 16 minutes. Put yourself in a quiet place with or without light and listen to soothing music, whether it's sounds of nature or classical music, something that is calming and quiet where you can meditate and let your brain decompress. You will sleep better, you will rest better, and you will feel better. We've also got to get our society to slow down. And I'm the world's worst, I will tell you. Slow down, decompress, disengage, and just relax. We're not doing enough of it. Americans are workaholics, and we've got to work on that too. So I would love some feedback, guys. Please, if you have suggestions that we can share, let me know. If you've got materials that you'd like to share, let me know. I really want to hear back from you. This podcast is all about helping us as Americans and as a society to be better, to talk to each other, so we can have peace and harmony in our lives. Of course, it's not going to be that way for everybody, but I think if we make a better effort to talk to each other, we can eliminate a lot of the stress that a lot of us are under every day. And we have this great vehicle now in social media where we can all talk to each other. We can share ideas, share thoughts, and help guide us in not necessarily the right direction, but directions that we want to go in. And I do want to hear back from you. I'm Kerrie, and this is Conversations at Kerrie's Corner. And we're about trying to help restart our communication in this great land. We want to be united. We don't want to be divided, because divided we can't stand. So let's work together to come back to the middle, talk to each other with dignity and respect. We will get so much more done if we can do that. And let's make an active effort to help our children. They're our future. They're our next generation of leaders. Don't we owe it to them? I think we do. God bless you on this Tuesday, the week before Thanksgiving. I hope wherever you are, you're having a splendid week. I hope you're being productive. Please be safe. Never take anything for granted. You never know. You got to always be safe, be alert, know your surroundings, know who is around you, and always, always remember to protect yourself and don't take anything for granted. This is Kerrie from Conversations at Kerrie's Korner. This is podcast number 1 for the week. I'll see you towards the end of the week. And I'd love some ideas. If you have a conversation you'd like us to talk about, please let me know. Just communicate with me on social media, and I would love the opportunity to talk about whatever subject is on your mind. I'm not an authority. I'm just somebody here trying to start conversation. Let's get back to the middle and work with each other. We have so much more we can accomplish if we do that together. Take care, everyone. See you in the next podcast.